Oh, the dab. He's got the dab at the right time.
Oh my
He
god, here
did
we
it.
are.
He did it. It's great. Yeah, it's your boys from across the pond. It's Ryan and Duncan here for the Immaterial Gamers livecast, episode 243. Forget what it initially said in the title of 244. That was an outright lie. Ryan doesn't know how to count.
Two gingers separated by 9 years and 3,000 miles come
Dis-
together to create an international podcast unlike any other. Coming to
Why?
you soon is a podcast that is one of the most podcasts of all time.
Yes. Do your podcasts have paddle Mars?
They might. It's possible. If they're a League of Legends team, there's a good chance that one laying around somewhere in like a
Yeah,
shelf.
if they have a regularly scheduled podcast on a Thursday that involves playing League of Legends or League of Legends adjacent games, there is a chance
I,
of a paddle Mar.
I wouldn't call the team fight tactics a podcast. I think that's closer to a let's play type thing.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Look, I'm all over the place. I've had a fun Sunday. Let's be honest. A lot of
Fun
the
day.
Immaterial Gamers had a fun Sunday, a fun day. So yeah, it's probably going to be a shorter podcast. Duncan, I appreciate, has come in at short notice to make sure I'm not just talking to myself for 40 minutes. So
You know, we make these sacrifices. I know I do have plans for at some point this evening, but I have no idea when they're actually going to happen because I haven't been given a time horizon. All I know is that it's intended to be some sort of dinner date, and approaching the sort of the general vicinity of that time.
yeah.
So hopefully we can get the podcast out of the way before I get summoned.
Yeah, if it turns out that I end up having to just put like a single camera video of me wrapping it up, we'll do it. So let's get straight into it then. First of all, the timelines are now restored. We've both had our daylight savings time, so there is now a 5 hour gap
Hooray!
again. Yeah.
Hooray! Yeah,
Uh,
5 hour gap. Just wait till fall when it goes to 6, which
oh yeah.
is
Yeah. I don't
probably
know.
more, honestly, the 6 hour gap.
Yeah. That is probably the tougher one, isn't it? When you get the 4 hour gap, things are a little bit closer. You know what? Daylight savings sucks. Anyway, that's an opinion. In fact, that's not an opinion. That's just counting. No, I've got to stop that. So let's get it out of the way. First things first. You can tell by the background. I've decided not to use the lounge blur this week because we needed to finish.
Yeah, just that. All of
Sorry.
that and
So,
more.
yeah, sorry. It's zoomed in. It's supposed to be Videogame Challenge CODENAME Not So Merry-Go-Round, which was the video game challenge designed by me to usually cause me to fail and for me
Mhm.
to sort out the consequences. So me, Martin, Duncan, and friend of the Immaterial Gamers, Paul.
Mhm.
Not Duncan. No, I've just said Martin's full name. No one figured that out. Martin, Stefan, Ryan, me, and Paul, friend of the Immaterial Gamers. There we go.
There you go.
Took part in Pixel Bar's first Teamfight Tactics Open tournament
Hooray!
to celebrate set 8.5. So that we joined up. Paul initially wasn't going to join up, but someone had to pull out at the last minute because of illness. So to fill a lobby of 8 people and not have to have Pixel Bar staff take part or have to fill the numbers, Paul was joining there for a drink anyway and to laugh at us. So they asked if he wanted to play, and he went, "Absolutely."
There you go.
He's now played his first ever effectively his first ever TFT games in said tournament. But yeah, well, one of us came out with a prize,
Hooray!
and it wasn't me and Steph or Paul.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
It was Martin who finished 4th.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess Martin is probably. I'd say out of all of us, Martin is probably like the most consistent TFT player. He seems to
Yeah,
be on average the highest placing.
yeah. What did you have? Was it like Martin? Was it like 2/3 and a 6? Wasn't it? or something along those lines. He basically finished fine, but he finished 4th. Now the prizes only went to 3. Person at the top absolutely deserved it. They got a Fury Horn. They got the sugar cone Fury Horn plush from Riot, which is smaller than I imagined, but it was still cute, and I wished I had it. But well, I need to learn to play better. Get good. That's just how it goes.
Skill issue.
It turns out there'll be chances to improve because this TFT tournament was a trial for what they're going to do across their venues. They've got 2 venues, one in Manchester and one in Leeds, and the idea is that they're going to do 2 pods, 8 and 8, and then the winning 4 of each pods will then stream the competition against each other.
Well, that's where they have the disadvantage. For we are experienced League of Legends streamers.
Yes. So, yeah.
The
well,
home field advantage.
What we have to do at that point then, Duncan, is succeed in the offline play first. Get past that gap, and then get in there.
All right. So I gotta get a plane ticket to Manchester.
Yeah. Or Leeds. It's up to you. I mean, if you want to.
Well, you guys are closer to Manchester.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then join us, and then
I don't know where Leeds is. I don't know UK geography very well. All I know, London down here, Manchester down here, some other shit in the middle. I think Wales is over that way somewhere. That's about all I got.
Yeah, to be fair, you've got the geography.
Scotland, nice little hat.
Yeah, the hat to cap off the United Kingdom when they try to be united, which is currently not at the moment, and I can understand. But yeah, so it came out of it. So, but the player that finished second was supposed to win a Chibi Ari Little Legend, the tactician thing. Problem is, he already owned it.
Oh no!
So he graciously gifted it over to the next person who hadn't won a prize. Therefore, Martin, in 24 hours from now, will have Chibi Ari, because it turns out Martin has to go through the same thing I had to go through for getting that RP from XL, anti-laundering situations. Just like, you can make a friend, but you cannot gift them anything for a day. So that's what happened there. But,
well, hey, there you go. You may not have taken the crown jewel or anything, but you got a little something, little compensation.
Yeah, I've got a little something out of it. Yeah.
And so what you're saying is the training montage did not exactly pay out. Did not pay dividends.
Yeah, it didn't really, but I kind of felt like I knew that coming in, because playing online is and compared to playing offline is just a different sort of experience, mainly due to the fact you're playing the same people 3 times in a row, and you sort of get to learn people's strategies, and you have to try and counter-adapt each other at that point. What we also did learn is that in future we need to find people to fill out Teamfight Tactics lobbies. Oh, it's just so much nicer to have a full lobby of 8 people, start a match, and the game loads in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I bet. That does sound good.
We say that.
Hold on, I'm thinking. I'm just sort of thinking out loud here.
Mm-hmm.
So Martin was finished the best out of all of you and got 4th.
Yes. I think.
So then we have 4 Immaterial Gamers representatives. Well, sort of 3 and a plus 1.
Yeah.
3 and a plus 1. And all 4 of you finished in the bottom 4.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7. There'd be one more slot. Who was there? Who did? Be one random?
I don't know if we've updated. I think there was one player who finished down. I think, to be fair, I don't know if it was Paul or one of the other players who finished on there. But considering Paul played his first 3 games of competitive Teamfight Tactics today, can absolutely understand where he was on there. What we can say is, I didn't. My wallet was safe.
Okay.
Fortunately, good old Stefan missed. Was the I don't want to say worst performing Immaterial gamer, but he unfortunately fell short. He had a good first game as well. First round came third, so he had 6 points just out on there straight away. So at that particular point, he was the best Immaterial gamer of the three of us.
Yay!
3 of us plus 1. And then, unfortunately, he pulled what I would call a Ryan. So just that's your peak, and every game just gets worse. From there, I've realised in that group of 8 people, I was absolute standout top 3/4 of players. Yeah. So unfortunately, Steph was the loser of Not So Merry-Go-Round, but he had a slight advantage on there, is that everyone got their prizes, and we took a nice photo. Well, that's your own damn fault. No, we're not. No. He was playing the second, and then he started watching Star Trek Voyager in the middle of it. That's kind of how a 3-game series goes. You commit to the
So
3 games. You don't get bored after 1.
You couldn't commit to 3 games. We play 3 games just on a stream.
That is.
We get at least 3 TFTs just in a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at a bar. I mean, you could. It was.
Well, we had 15-minute breaks afterwards where we could go, as the admin Sam was saying, was just like, you could go out, have a drink, shout at the sky, pray to a god, you know. Yeah, the one and the same, aren't they? Shout at the sky, pray to a god. That would have been weird because it is a busy place with bars and coffee shops and stuff, even if it is down a side road in Manchester. Just imagine just walking out calmly, just like, yeah, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And then someone's walking down the street or looking out the window as you're just there on your knees. I don't know if it would have helped. But anyway,
yeah, next time next time you'll snipe them. Next time they'll be dead. Dead meat.
Smart. No, I enjoyed it. Say we enjoyed it, even if Steph lost.
We need more training montages. We need to play more often.
Have we got any stairs similar to the Philadelphia Rocky stairs in Manchester? I mean, to be fair, between the 3 of us, stairs ended up being an enemy today. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, that was fun. We've joined the Pixel Bars Discord now. Gave feedback on the tournament. Definitely looking forward to more. And yeah, I've now got the what's it called? I don't want to say the touch. The
you got the touch.
The words to say that you want to do more. You've got the
You got the itch.
Itch.
You got
taste. The taste for more TFT tournaments, or as Martin put in said Pixel Bar Discord, the TF tournament. Which makes sense. Team fight tournaments.
Yeah, team fight tournament. There you go. Just anything that could be a team fight T word.
Yeah.
Whatever you got.
Not that one, Ryan. Don't use that one. Anyway. Well, that actually gave us 15 minutes worth of talk.
Yo.
Yeah. Now, like I say, Duncan's come up with a little bit of what do you say? Not so much preparation.
Yeah, and
because
I've
you can't prepare for something you like.
between between just being really out of just really out of love with games, like I just haven't had anything to really look forward to or get excited about or play, and I'm having worked a pretty busy week. I just haven't really played anything for myself
Mhm.
all week. Maybe like the odd TFT or something here or there, but like nothing worth talking about really. I
Mm.
streamed the Stanley Parable with my sister. We did a stream of that like last week, and now we just did more or less the rest of the endings.
Yeah.
It's like we might do another stream to do like, oh, what are all these endings like when you have the bucket? I was like, we'll think about it.
I mean, you also don't have 5 hours to save the baby.
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, who can just sit down for 4 hours and play the baby game? Like,
Is he still in the chat? Where is he?
oh,
Steph.
oh,
I think he also did get the achievement in the original Stanley Parable, which was like, don't play the game for 5 years and then reload it. But he got it the non-cheat way, because
yeah.
the easy way to get that achievement in
Let's
there is
just
just to
change the
set your
day
system
on your
clock.
computer.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he did it the hard way, shall we shall we call it? Yeah, but yeah, like we said before we started, and well, like you said to me before we started, there's only really two ways to experience the Stanley Parable, and both of them are spoilerific. It's play it or watch it.
Yeah,
And
I feel like you get more or less the same experience with either one that you do.
yeah.
It's
So I'd
it's
say we
goofy.
suggest watch the Bet Togethers. I think the VODs are still on Twitch at the moment, but I did put the first episode of your two trips to Narratorville, um, unspecifiedistan, sort of wherever the Stanley Parable is set. Um, that's on the YouTube. The next one will be happening in a couple of days' time. Not Monday though, because Monday I will upload after 2 weeks off the continuing playthroughs of Justa Shepherd. Oh, sorry, she's Commander Justa Shepherd for Mass Effect. Ryan made a mistake and rendered a video yesterday, and it's an hour and 11 minutes long, which is funny because there's only 25 minutes of gameplay. And a giant black void until the credits roll for 20 seconds at the end. Genius didn't move his components together in the editing. Yay. Oh, right, okay. Let's Yeah, let's get into speaking of Mad Worlds. I'm a hypocrite.
Oh boy.
Now, to be fair, I think we discussed this with Terry, and I think actually yourself or someone else. Blizzard. And
Oh boy.
my boycott of Blizzard games, which has now actually really come down to my boycott of WoW.
Of just one particular
Of
Blizzard game.
yeah, two particular Blizzard games, mainly due to the fact that I don't play it. Hearthstone. Um, because I am a Diablo fan. I like Diablo. It's an itch that I can't scratch off. I'm looking at Stroop waffles while I'm talking. I've got to stop. Welcome to the crazy thoughts of Ryan's brain. So yeah, Diablo 4 has had its betas. It had a closed beta for those who pre-purchased the game last week, and it's had an open beta this current weekend. So myself, Martin, Stefan has as well, Paul, our other Paul. Yes, we're on the point where we know two Pauls, with the fact that we give them different nicknames. One is called Young and the other's called Hermit. Have a guess of who's who. You've spoke to one of them.
Well, how about that?
Dog!
She's been there the entire time.
I am oblivious.
Yeah, no, she's just been sleeping on the bed the whole
Ah,
podcast.
damn it. Well, hello. Yeah, so we've gone into it and we've had a look at the beta and small, or like I'd say, first impressions. It looks nice. That's usually the lowest on my first impressions. I couldn't care if it looked nice. I couldn't care if it was stick men walking around with sticks and stick boots and all that stuff. As long as the gameplay worked fine, I'm happy. And there, my other first impression: the gameplay is improved compared to Diablo 3. That's the only way to look at it. It clearly took a lot of inspiration from Grinding Gears games' Path of Exile. The current, well, I'd say now, top dog of action role-playing games on isometric fields where loot is part of the thing.
You could just call them like Diablo style games.
Diablo
really.
likes, yeah, we'll call them Diablo likes. It's
Yeah,
the leader of
I
Diablo
mean,
likes.
it really is it's a pretty distinctive like type of games.
Yeah, I
It's
guess actually, yeah.
it is very much like like how you got your Metroidvanias and
Yeah.
your Dark Souls esque games.
Yeah.
Soulsborne, people call them. But yeah, Diablo style. It's its own thing.
Yeah. Before we continue, slight Immaterial Gamers PSA from the voice of Ryan. Digital Extremes have announced a game, or last year announced a game called Soulframe. It is the spiritual successor to Warframe. I don't have to tell you this. I have to tell you, the hypothetical human beings of the internet, this. Just because a game has the word soul in it doesn't mean it's automatically a fucking Souls-like. So don't complain when...
Are you trying to tell me that Soul Calibur and Dark Souls have nothing to do with each other, you fucking guy?
Yeah, I absolutely am, you guy, you other guy. Yes, you, hypothetical person on the internet.
I'm a hypothetical person on the internet.
Well, you are actual person on the internet. But yeah, From Software does not have a monopoly on the word soul. As shown by the fact that their recent game is called Elden Ring, but
Disney has a monopoly on the word soul.
Disney has a monopoly on the word. Wow,
impressive! Really,
you
whipped that one up, didn't you?
I had the idea. I started to go through the idea and didn't have the end.
This is the part where you say Disney has a monopoly on monopolies.
Yeah, they have the monopoly on monopoly. There's only one company they don't have the monopoly on.
Is this a segue into our second piece of news?
What do you mean about Tencent? How to try?
Oh
no, I was gonna segue into Diablo from Diablo, but I'll get there. And it's that gameplay is improved. They have they've used skill trees like sort of Path of Exile, but a bit more less complex. They're baby Blizzard. They're taking the steps. They're walking so they can run. It has sort of a giant campaign story, and it's rather than Diablo 3's millions of instanced maps, they have just a big overworld, and they still have dungeons and stuff like that, and rifts like stuff from like 3, but now it's closer to an MMO, which is... I feel it's taken... I guess it's more taken the Guild Wars route rather than the World of Warcraft route. They've decided not to copy themselves. But, it's there. It's all great. Like I say, it looks nice. Character classes are cool. There's impact and stuff going on. Everything's all great. It's just a shame that I can't run it on the high specs at the moment because it wants to take everything in regards to resources. And that is where we are going to go to our Little bit of news. Once I actually find the link, that doesn't turn the cameras off. There we go. Womp womp. So my idea on this is actually maybe I should just go to Discord and go to our news and vamp for a minute while Ryan, who was prepared, fails to do anything. But it's a GameSpot article. How about this? You know when you have a game, Duncan, and you want to sort of play it, and you look at the specs, and you do your stuff. How often do you sit there and ask yourself the question, will this game overheat my GPU until it becomes a big melted silicon mess?
Usually doesn't come up.
Doesn't doesn't yeah.
Usually have a pretty good idea, like right off the bat, whether or not a game is gonna make my computer explode.
Total
Like,
my computer.
this doesn't seem to be performing very well. Perhaps my hardware is not up to snuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Not more of, oh my god, this game is actually from literal hell and is melting my PC. What is going on, Blizzard? What the fuck, Blizzard?
We're back. We're back.
Got there. So, yes. Oh, hello. The guests are everywhere today.
Just showing up to wave. Anyway.
So during the open beta, users have been flooding the Diablo 4 forums, stating that their GPUs were overheating while playing the beta. According to the GameSpot article, one player, Jonesy23, told Eurogamer, I wanted to wrap up my time with beta on Monday, played for 20 minutes, and then my PC shut down unexpectedly. My GPU was so hot that I burnt my fingers when touching the HDMI connector. Luckily, it was not permanently damaged.
The hand or the GPU?
Hopefully both.
Yeah, it's just like my hand stuck fast and was melted to the frame. However, the GPU, which has a much higher tolerance for heat, was fine. I, however, have fourth-degree burns.
I was about to say I'm that one guy from the Tommy Lee Jones film Volcano, the dodgy like train inspector that was like, or subway inspector that was trying to get people to still run the subways while the fucking volcano was going through Los Angeles, and he gets a sacrificial moment where he throws an unconscious trains worker over a lava flow. But he has to jump forward in order to do it, and then he lands straight in it and spends about 15 to 30 seconds going, ah, ah, as he slowly melts. I was just picturing that with this one guy with his HDMI connector. He touches it, and then suddenly, well, don't make that motion, Ryan. Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry, what was this about? What making some kind of motion with the finger?
Yeah. He was melting.
Yeah.
How old am I? I'm. Anyway.
Frighteningly old.
Frighteningly old. Thank you.
So yeah, don't play. Maybe watch out. Play Diablo 4. Might actually kill you.
Turn your settings down. I love that the GameSpot's troubleshooting steps are: conduct a complete power cycle and see if the GPU can be detected under Windows. Well, it should be, because your game should not be causing your a game should not be causing your GPU to go, nah. I mean, to be fair, I say that Ghost Recon Wildlands did cause one of my graphics cards to just short out. I don't know why it did it, but it did. But if GPU can be found under Windows, do a clean driver install. I love that Blizzard and GameSpot's troubleshooting steps for overheating GPU is don't blame the game.
It's like I'm sure it's a human error thing. You know, you probably fucked something up. You schlob.
Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't have bought that pre-built computer. Curry's PC World.
I did. I bought. Well, I didn't buy it. My dad actually bought it. R.I.P. It was a gift he got me for an earlier when he received an inheritance from family in in I was gonna say Deutschland, but that's actually Germany. The Dutch land, the land of Dutch,
The Netherlands.
the Netherlands.
The Dutch again.
Yeah, and he bought me a PC. It's it's not far from top of the line, but it gets the job done. Does what I need it to do.
Yeah. It
It's a whole
works. It
lot less
works.
complicated than fucking building my own PC, which is what I originally intended to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept fucking it up, buying the wrong parts, and shit wouldn't connect properly. And believe me, when you don't know what you're doing and you make mistakes when it comes to PC building, that's a whole lot of expensive mistakes that can pile up real fast.
Oh yeah.
So eventually, you either gotta buckle in and pay the fuck attention to what you're doing. That's option one. Get help, or just give up and just eat the loss and go buy a pre-built computer.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone who is a fan of all the stuff, but really doesn't want to have to deal with options 1 and 2, I do go 3 a lot. I say a lot, when the opportunity arises. But yeah, hopefully, what I would say the Immaterial Gamers, Ryan's troubleshooting for if your GPU is overheating, take the loss, turn the settings down to a setting that doesn't use all the resources, and just play the game. At the end of the day, a Diablo game is a Diablo game. You don't.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be massive pretty to do it. Just
it's gonna work pretty much the same.
Yeah.
it's yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Indeed. Oh,
more dogs.
Sorry, just dogs everywhere. Sorry, I just got distracted again. There we go.
We've got a few of them,
Yeah.
Can't really see her very well, but the baby's kind of hanging out in the corner on the dog bed. Probably chewing
Indeed.
when she shouldn't be chewing.
Oh.
Probably hair or something.
Typical. Right. So, while we got that, then let's now segue to the Blizzard story that we were.
The other Blizzard
the
story.
Other Blizzard story.
They're like the only thing that's happening, apparently.
Yeah, there was. I had a look. I was trying to look for news, like significant stories and stuff. And apart really from really uncomfortable situation of female attendees heading to this year's GDC conference being spiked or having their drinks spiked. It's like
everybody's favorite.
Yeah. Males of the human race. If you're sitting there spiking, I'm stereotyping males of the human race, but that's generally because when females get spiked by drinks, the perpetrators are usually male. You scum. Get the fuck out.
The ones that are doing the spike, like
the ones that are doing
this, fine.
Yeah.
The overwhelming 99.9% of you are fine. Just some of you are.
I should.
Just some of you are really dragging the average down.
Yeah. And with that, pretty simply, politely get fucked.
Anyway, anywho, not related to this conversation whatsoever.
Yes.
Hey, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. That was a story from last year.
Yeah, the continuing
saga
of trying to sell Activision Blizzard to Microsoft. Currently, the biggest sticking block at the moment was whether the UK's CMA, Competitions and Markets Authority, Ryan?
It's anti-monopoly authority, basically.
Yeah. I had it. Yeah, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority. Close. Well, it was close enough. They had a bit of a roadblock on in the UK at least of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard in regards to the Call of Duty franchise and whether Microsoft having it would constitute as a monopoly. And Sony, their opponents in this matter, were basically going, yes, They'll take it away from us. There'll be no free choice. The only way that players will be able to play Call of Duty is on Microsoft platforms. Microsoft, over the past couple of weeks, have been putting Call of Duty on other platforms, even announcing it for the Switch, of all things. Yeah, that caught you out.
No, it's acid reflux, but
yeah,
but yeah,
I
no,
took the opportunity to make us.
but yeah, I guess it's one of those things, right, where like you've got two of the biggest companies in the world and their respective industries
Mhm.
trying to do a merger, and it's like you got, it's not just one market you got to think about. You can't think about just the American market, or just the North American market, or the Asian market,
Mhm.
like everywhere. Like you got to be like, okay, is this going to create a monopoly here and here and here and here?
Mhm.
Because you fuck up anywhere, then you either need to cancel that merger, or you need to stop doing business in those markets. Neither of these are favorable decisions when you're already in the process of doing the merger.
Yeah. Yeah. When
When
basically all you're
money is
waiting.
already being exchanged, and you're already talking about merging divisions and such. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
When you have to be like, oh shit, we need to either reverse out of this, or significantly cut down our revenues. Neither
Mhm.
of these are favorable outcomes.
Yeah. But currently, as we've got, there were 3 updates in one day's worth of news, according to Eurogamer here. The headline stated, the CMA turned around and said, came to a provisional conclusion that Microsoft's bid to take over Activision Blizzard will not result in a substantial lessening of competition in relation to console gaming in the UK. So the CMA initially did have this sort of idea of, okay, there may be some competition, or there's a monopoly, but what we suggest in our findings would be to just buy Activision Blizzard, but not Call of Duty, which was a thing. It's just like sell off Call of Duty to make it open to everyone was one of the options, or just sell off Activision and keep Blizzard, and therefore Call of Duty goes with Activision, or sell Blizzard,
God,
and
that's been
it's
another like big another big thing with like the corporate merger,
mm,
like culture of like the last 10 years of like companies taking just cutting out like pieces of companies that they want to buy. It's like, give me this division and this division, leave that, and then they sell it to someone else, or like that's been, because that was a big thing with fucking like ATT and Warner Media.
mhm.
Holy fuck, they did a whole goddamn cha-cha slide of like corporate restructuring when they tried to um sell off and merge various parts of their company.
Oh God, yeah,
I,
because
I I legitimately don't even know who fucking owns the various aspects of Warner Media anymore, because I know it's gone everywhere.
yeah, because well, this is the thing, wasn't it? So you had AT&T and Warner Media, because at that point, because this goes back to the old Rooster Teeth stuff, didn't it? With Full Screen Entertainment or Full Screen and Otter Media and sort of all that stuff, and then now you've got, what is it, Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's just like, what is this? What is this mess? What is this sludge of all these disparate bits of entertainment media all in one place that are all supposed to be together but not? Definitely they're not. All that sort of stuff. So I can understand where that turns up in sort of the video game space when it comes to Microsoft, especially given the fact that they already have Bethesda. So it's just
Mm.
like, oh, what did we call Microsoft, Bethesda, Blizzard Entertainment,
Mike
Activision
Mike
company?
Bethesda
Yeah,
Mike Bethesda Lizard Vision.
yeah, yeah. So,
Microthesa Blizzard, Microthesa
oh,
Lizard Vision,
that is a tongue twister. Don't say that
Micro
drunk.
Microthesa Lizard Vision. It's like a spell or something.
Yeah, yeah. Don't say that.
If I say it 3 times fast, I'm gonna summon the fucking the Elder Dragon from Skyrim or something.
Or Fusro don't. Um. Oh.
I'll summon the Mario Dragon.
Yeah. Woohoo! Um.
uh, the joke is that Charles Martinet played a dragon in Skyrim, and it doesn't sound like Mario, but it's funny to imagine that it is, because it's the same actor, and that's funny.
Someone's modded it, right?
I
Some
feel like there's got to be someone out there who's replaced all of that characters.
all the dragon roars with just Mario.
Well, he talks too. Like he's a fully like
Oh,
scripted
is it?
character. Like he's like a major supporting character in that game.
Yeah,
He's like one of like the good dragons or something. And yeah, he just absolutely it's Charles Martinet, but it's not in his typical the voice that you expect.
yeah.
Ugh.
I guess I have to quickly discuss it beforehand before we leave. I've only got a couple of minutes because I really don't want to give it more time than's absolutely necessary. But I remember a few weeks back when the creator of Rick and Morty and what was the name of the games company, Squanch Games,
Launch.
Justin Roiland, basically got uh, was dropped from all of the projects, and he had to leave Squanch Games because of domestic violence or domestic abuse allegations.
Yeah.
He's come back, and he's proudly announced that those allegations have been dismissed. Not
Yeah.
found not guilty of, just dismissed.
Well, I mean, they were dismissed on the grounds that, according to the people performing the investigation, determined
Mm.
that there wasn't enough evidence to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, which is how that's the standard to achieve when it comes to crimes.
Yeah, true.
So
I mean, granted, it
it's
hasn't.
either one of those things where there's like circumstantial evidence and it's like kind of like we can't really like build a case against this, or I mean it's entirely, I mean it's possible that it was just not,
Mm,
I mean sometimes people will get shit thrown in their face for no reason. Like, who knows? I don't know. Justin Roiland might be a scumbag, or he might be just weird. I
yeah,
mean, we
but
can't really know for sure.
fair, fair. I'll concede at that
A lot of
point.
people
But
want. Here's the thing, right? I don't want there to be a culture of people wanting to continue believing a thing that they were told just because it feels good, right? Like if there's no evidence, if there's no hard physical evidence to prove that someone that you either don't like or were told not to like or have bad feelings toward is a bad person, then I don't want to create. I don't like there being a culture in place that supports continuing to be suspicious of them without cause. You know,
yeah, okay, yeah,
I
I
don't
understand
look.
where you're at on
Full
that point.
disclosure, I don't care about Justin Roiland. Not as a person, as a creator. I didn't like Rick and Morty. I find some of his content to be amusing, but it's a joke that wears thin
Mm,
after a while. You've
okay.
seen one Justin Roiland project, you've seen 1,000. They all kind of sound the same. You either like it or you don't. I
Mm,
don't. I do not care if Justin Roiland is popular or successful. I have no investment in him as a person or a creator. I just, if there's no evidence to suggest that these allegations that were put against him were real, then I don't really see the point in like continuing the animosity
mm,
unless some new information comes to light. I figure it's one of those things you just kind of put it aside, you know, bookmark it just in case it comes up again,
mm.
but just all right, I guess that's over now.
Mm. No,
You know?
I get you on that. I mean, like I say, I'm on the same sort of idea. Guess with you, is I've never been a fan of the Rick and Morty stuff. High on Life didn't didn't catch me. It didn't grip me. So the idea, um, I guess he's quite clearly a Marmite person.
What now?
The idea of someone being what we call a Marmite person. So yeast extract product Marmite has its
Heard of it?
slogan: "You love it or you hate it."
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no in between. So
Right.
if we get someone of Royland being a Marmite person, people love him or they hate him. I guess in this case, there's the people who just go. There's the rare few like us who just go. It's a person, meh.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be it could be a very prevalent actor in the upcoming slate of Marvel Phase 5 films. We've not got time.
Sorry,
We've ran out of time.
what's going on? What I
The
missed
character
your
of Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan the actor who plays Kang the Conqueror and all his upcoming variants in the upcoming slate of Marvel films, has currently been arrested for domestic violence allegations.
Well, hey, as we have maybe possibly learned with an asterisk from the Justin Roiland case, like maybe we'll just hold on to that one and just see what comes out of it. Because hey, you know what? Sometimes someone just has a really fucked up face, and you realize, oh shit, that person had like part of their skull caved in by like an act of violence, and you go, that's evidence that person did it bad. And sometimes they just say things, and whether or not they can substantiate what they've said is can be hard or very easy. It really depends on the situation, you know.
Now, still on the idea though of the what's the term? Believe the victim. Don't just
Yeah,
don't dismiss it outright. Like a lot of
yeah.
internet discourse
I
does.
think it's better. I think I've always I see. I don't really like it. I like the philosophy of rather than like believe the victim. The philosophy should be don't immediately distrust the victim. It's more like theoretically we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So let's at least if we're not gonna go with that, then we need to at least to find a middle ground of like, okay, this is a thing that's out in the open. There is an allegation. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I understand, like emotionally, it's very hard to like to doubt someone when they've made a very serious accusation. Like, you want to say like, why would anyone do this unless they were a really terrible person or there actually was doing something bad. But sometimes people do. Or if they don't outright lie, a lot of times there's, extenuating circumstances or the story is slanted somewhat like they're withholding certain details or skewing the way they're presented.
Mm.
It's important to let the stories unfold before we say, oh, person A is bad, person B is victim. Sometimes person A and B are both victims. Sometimes neither of them are victims. You know, it's it's hard. It's a difficult thing to go through.
It's murky.
So yeah, I guess Justin Roiland is maybe not a terrible person, possibly. Time will tell. He's not likely to be very active in the creative scene in any capacity. The one thing that does come out of this case that's like of substance is, regardless of how he is as a partner, apparently he's a kind of a shit boss, not very good at being like, doing his job. So
There was a. I guess we can wrap it up on this bit. There was a tweet that come out afterwards that said, "Oh my God, look at your statement. There's more words in here than you actually did in the last 5 seasons of Rick and Morty."
yeah,
Which is a bit of shade.
yeah. Apparently he's kind of not very professional, which is like, maybe that's like maybe like you go to Justin Roiland and see his like humor style and you think, oh yeah, well the whole point is that it's just kind of like fucking all made up and kind of like sloppy and improvised on purpose, and that's the style. But it does get to a point where when you want to take yourself seriously as like a creative production, that you do actually have to like lay down the law and be like, okay, there are certain expectations you have to meet. And it sounds like he was not necessarily meeting those expectations
No.
at often, if at all.
Yeah.
And so, regardless of, like I said, regardless of his criminal guilt, I don't see him being particularly, active in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Well, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Oh, we did actually stick it out for about 10 to 15 minutes more than I thought we were going to do. So let's get into it. Let's get into the wrap up. If you liked what you saw and you want to discuss this with us, we're open to we're open to talk. So like, share, comment, follow us on the socials. They're in the Twitch channel. They are on the YouTube VODs when they come up. They are on the podcast feed when they go in audio form. So they're all there to do that. Give us a like and a follow if you want to just watch us play random games, which we're going to do because we are variety streamers. That's how we go. Next up on the docket is more of Ryan tries to complete Moonlighter before Digital Sun's next game comes out. I've got like 3 weeks to do so. So get that done. So play Moonlighter before Mage Seeker. That's on Monday. Currently, Tuesday and Wednesday are free for anyone to drop in and play whatever the hell they want. Thursday, Teamfight Thursdays. I think this week we will end up on the bridge. On the
I'll be
Howling
around
Abyss.
this week, most likely. I'll say with an asterisk. Like, something might come up, but this is my off week, so I shouldn't be able to make myself available for the stream.
So we'll play some Aram, bang average Aram, for a little bit from there.
Bog standard, as they say.
Yeah. Friday is play session where we play party games or multiplayer games, or like we did this time, we just sat around a virtual table and played Uno for 2 hours, which actually, to be fair, was fun.
It was fun. That was a nice little stream. Too bad I wasn't. I mean, I feel bad I wasn't there the entire time, but I wasn't going to be there at all at first because this was my work week, and I normally don't make the Friday stream on my work week. So, take it.
Yeah, so that works. Then Saturday and Sunday will be a full week of
Ryan all the time.
a full weekend. Yeah, the Ryan RPN takeover. Well, I'm carrying on playing Like a Dragon Ishin. I'm in chapter 7 now, so I'm getting to like a third to halfway through the game. Really enjoying it still. It's all great, and I'm swordsman with gun. It just works. So yeah, and then with that videos.
We don't have a specific date or schedule for it yet, but Andrea and I have been talking in the last few days about yet another project for us, because we can never stick to one thing.
Like I say, we still have to do a pickup stream of Harvester at some point, or if not a pickup stream, from what Andrea was saying, there might not be enough to constitute a stream. Maybe a pickup point where we just record and VOD out.
We've actually got 2 different ideas going on. In fact,
so many ideas.
Both Pokemon flavored, as a matter of fact.
Oh yes.
One thing that we're thinking about doing is inspired by a YouTuber and a streamer. What's his face? Steven something. I can't remember his full name. It's for some reason it escapes me. Steven something. I think Steven Plays is like a channel that he uses. Anyway,
Steven Plays. Steven,
he and his wife or girlfriend, or significant other, they sometimes do like races in Earthbound, because that's a game that they both have been playing for a very long time and know pretty well.
Stephen George is George
yeah,
without
that's
an E.
Stephen George. Yeah, Stephen George. Inspired by that, Andrew and I have been thinking about doing a race in like one of the 3rd generation Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like see if how quickly we can get to the end, and we'll do it over the course of a few streams, however long it takes for us to do it. It's a race to beat the Elite Four, so get all the way to be the champion. So it'll take a couple of streams, but yeah, that's one project we're planning on trying out sometime soon.
Cool.
The other possibly larger project that we're planning is we want to revisit Pixelmon. The classic Minecraft mod where it turns it into an open world Pokemon game.
Yes.
We played a little bit of that
We've had a couple of play sessions
on the PlayStation. It's going to be mainly focused on her and I, and doing like just playing, building a team, building a gym, various other activities.
Mm-hmm.
I think we want to eventually open it up to other members to play, but it's if they want to pop in every once in a while, but it's mainly going to be her and I.
Okay.
Yeah. So
See how it
we'll
goes.
get more details on that when we have more details.
So keep an eye on the Twitch and
Yes.
the socials, like I say.
Yes. If you really want to know when and where and why and how what we're doing all those things, just check us. Just give us a follow on the Twitch .tv/Immaterial Gamers and YouTube.com/Immaterial Gamers and
so it's
or whatever the correct URL is.
so it's
Follow us on Twitter.
youtube.com/@immaterialgamer_YT.
There you go. That one.
It's
And
better than youtube.com/YHWC248 asterisk.
yeah, etc. And follow us on Twitter. So, because one of those three channels will tell you more details about when we actually do those projects.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Right. So have a good day or night or whenever you're watching or doing all this, and we will see you next time. So from myself and Duncan, toodaloo.
Bye.
Which is the right button, Ryan. You can do it. Yeah.